What's up, everybody? Dave from Dave's Man Cave. And hit like and subscribe. Make comments. Even if you don't like it. You know, sometimes people complain. Get to the point. You were talking about your dogs and it took 26 seconds to get to the... Shut up. Just shut up. Like some people are just... Oh my God. The TikTok generation. If you can't knock it out in 15 seconds, they just don't have the patience. It's like, well, some of us have a longer attention span. That being said, let's get into it. So I've got two of these, actually. Two of the Invicta Pro Divers, which are basically their version of a Rolex something. What was the damn model? It was just in my head and I forgot it. In any case, they're actually nice watches. They're very well rated, you know. I've got two of these, identical. I broke the band on this trying to adjust it without having the proper tool. So I ordered a set of rubber bands that actually are curved and will line up really nice with it. Oh, Submariner. It's a copy of the Submariner. And then I have the tool coming for the other one that still has the bracelet intact so I can remove the links properly. And those will be two nice little watches for cheap. They're like $55 each, as long as the tool is able to get the other one apart. And a lot of people criticize Invicta like, oh, it's a crap watch. It tells time. Now, if you're paying hundreds of dollars for an Invicta, yeah, I wouldn't do that because, you know, you can start getting Citizen, Seiko, Bulova, whatever, which is owned by Citizen. You know, you can start to get those brands of quality watches for the same price if you're talking, you know, $200, $300, $400. But for $55, it's great. It's an awesome little watch. Very nicely made. I've had Invictas in the past. Some of them are really stupid looking and really just corny. But the ones that are nice and clean like that, once I get the band back on it, it's going to look awesome. For $55, why wouldn't you? Now, that brings us to the next topic. And, you know, people look like, oh, it's a fake Rolex. It's a counterfeit. Well, here's the thing. Rolex never patented their designs. So, like, there are now Glock clones, companies that, you know, once the patent expired on the Glock design, now you got Palmetto State Armory making the daggers and the micro daggers. You've got a couple other companies out there that are making Gucci Glocks and clones because it's no longer illegal to do so. It's not covered by a copyright or patent to where you have to worry about infringement. Now, the Rolex name is obviously copyrighted, and this is slightly different. Their logo is slightly different. So there's this company sold on Amazon for anywhere from $28 to $55. And this is why I bought this, because I'm like, well, goddamn, they're getting good reviews if they look nice and they... I'm not the kind of guy who's going to go spend $15,000, $20,000 on a Rolex. I'm just not. I probably won't spend $5,000 on a Rolex. I'll spend $400, $500, $600, $700 on a nice Tissot, you know, something like that. But, you know, I'm just... So there's this company called Olevs. And you're like, that's a really weird name, and yet it looks oddly familiar. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm not worried about ruining the box. What am I going to do? Destroy the value? No. I wanted to see for $33, $32.77, delivered free next day from Amazon, how bad could this watch be? It's made in China, but that doesn't necessarily mean bad. Now, $33 made in China might be. But we're going to do it, and I'm doing this video in 4K because I want to be able to zoom in on it and see, is it bad? Is it crap? And at first I thought I saw scratches, but it's actually not. It's wrapped in cellophane. So there's an Olevs tag, quality certificate, product name Olevs Watch, inspectors, number 15. That's what you look for in a good watch. Make sure you get inspector 15. That guy knows his shit. I have no idea what that means. I'm just talking out my ass. Which I do. Sorry, I didn't get right to the point. Sorry, no more shenanigans, no more humor. So, what is this? It is a quartz-driven movement. It has a 39 millimeter body, chassis, what have you. It's some kind of hardened mineral glass. You say, oh, sapphire. Well, you know what? You're probably not going to get sapphire on a watch of this price point. This is $200, my G-Shock, Mudman. Really nice watch. Love this watch. Doesn't have sapphire. And honestly, all right, so here's a little story. On this guy, as I'm trying to get this damn cellophane saran wrap off of this thing, I destroyed the band trying to fix it, and I just got really enraged. And so I had my ball peen hammer, metal. I gave this thing I was like, oh, fuck it. Bam, hit it on the glass right in the center. 3 times. This thing flew across the room. I mean, I could have, obviously I could have hit it harder, but I was worried if I missed and I'd hit and put a hole in my desk. I wailed on this thing 3 times with a ball peen hammer. So not the flat side, the ball-shaped side. There is not a single nick or scratch, as fingerprints. There is nothing on that. It still works. It's keeping time. Everything clicks nice. So, yeah, that's not sapphire either. But it took 3 blows from a goddamn metal hammer. I did this video in 4K because I wanted to be able to zoom in and for you to see how nice this looks. Now we got Thursday the 21st. I'm going to have to go and set the time and, you know, all that stuff. But it's a simple quartz watch. I think the water resistance, it's only 3 atmospheres. So I can probably, like, if I get rained on, I might be okay. But with leather straps, I mean, this is going to be like I'm going somewhere for work. You know, let's go ahead and put this thing on. I don't know if it's real leather. It's hard to tell. It feels okay. It uses standard watch straps, so I don't know if that's an 18 millimeter. I have to get out. Well, let's see. Is it the same as this? That's a 20. So it looks like that's a, yeah, it's the same 20 millimeter. So I could get replacement straps that are, but I mean, it looks nice. This is a nice looking watch for $33. We'll take that little QC sticker off. Oh no, will I void my warranty? It actually has a 2-year warranty. So we'll take that off. Gee, I mean, I'm kind of impressed already. Now it's going to come down to, you know, do the hands fall off after a month, and what's the band's a little kind of stiff. That'll need to get it. That's a nice looking little dress watch. I wouldn't mind if it was a little bit bigger, to be honest. And they do make some bigger ones. I just wanted to kind of try this out and see if it was something. And I look at this. All right. I'm looking at these faux watches. I'm going to go ahead and soften the band. Just kind of bend it a little bit, get it to flex a little bit so it's not so stiff. Giggity. I'm looking at this kind of the way I look at, like, my, you know, I went out and bought a bunch of Microtechs and got the higher end and Benchmades and Guardian Tactical and Axial Gear, the $250 to $350 OTF automatic switchblades. But I started with the Vespas. I started with the Cobra Techs and the cheap ones. Why? Because I didn't want to invest. I'm like, I want to see how this carries in my pocket. Do I like the design? Is it ergonomic? Am I actually using it? Is it useful to me? Before I go dropping a whole bunch of money on something. So I'm looking at this in kind of the same way of, if I found one of these, you know, from another brand and it was the similar design, but it was $1,000, do I wear it enough? Do I like it enough? Is it comfortable enough? Is it the kind of watch that I would actually wear? So I'm using these as kind of a try it before you buy it. My daily beaters are going to be probably the G-Shocks, just because I don't have to worry about scratching them up. But if I'm going to the office or I'm doing something, maybe I'm going to take my Invicta Submariner homage. You know, I've got a nice rubber band that's got, you know, looks like, because they sell it with, you know, you can get it either way. It's more of the diver style. Well, it's going to be more like a band like that. Maybe not as stylized, but it's going to be a little more sleek. But it's going to be something kind of like that. And then I'm going to have one with the metal that has the gold center plates and stuff. It looks very nice and dressy. I'm going to have one of each without having to swap the bands. And I've only got $110 invested in the 2 watches. And then there might be other times where I'm like, you know what, let's go ahead and just have something even nicer and, you know, fancy. But I'm going to say, like, the polishing, I thought it was a scuff. No, that's the emblem. They put the little thing there. The band is going to have to break in so it kind of curves to my wrist and stuff. And, you know, I want to keep it out of the rain because 3 atmospheres of water resistance isn't much. That means if I just get it rained or sprinkled on, it should be okay. So it's going to be for work or dressy occasions. But, I mean, the band looks nice as long as this thing keeps time. Everything in it looks pretty damn straight. The glass is nice and clean. I mean, I got some skin oil on it. Let me wipe it off on my shirt here. I don't know, folks. It's a nice looking watch. I think from across the room or a casual glance, someone would look and go, oh, it's like a nice Rolex or, some kind of brand. They're going to go, what the hell is Olevs? Never heard of that. But it's nice. I'm really kind of stunned that out of the box, this is just that good looking. It's got on the blue, it's got a kind of a shimmer to it. When you change, you can see that there, that you got the day of the week, you got the date, so the date's right. I got to change the day of the week. I'm going to change the time, but as long as it keeps accurate time, and maybe every couple of years I'm going to have to throw a battery in it. And I think I could do that myself with a jeweler's screwdriver. It doesn't, there's a little tab right there. I can just go gunk and pop the back off. The movements, I think, are Japanese. And that's the thing, like with these. And I'm going to do a review of these when I get the bands installed later today or tomorrow. Well, Friday. I'll be in the office tomorrow. But, you've got I believe the Invictas, for $55 are using an unlabeled, but the movement is actually made by Seiko, a proper Japanese watchmaker that's known for, making really good movements. So you don't have to spend a ton of money to get an okay watch. Like, I feel like that's a nice looking watch. I'm probably still going to go get a Tissot or a Citizen Eco Drive or something in the $300 to $600 range. Because I just feel like I should have one really nice watch in my collection. Well, really nice within reason. I know there's people out there going, that have like an actual Submariner they spent 16 grand on. And I look at 16 grand and I'm like, I could go buy a Ducati Street Fighter V2 for, almost that. So I'm not going to ever spend probably that kind of money. But, I'll spend a few $100s on something nice. Just like I will spend more money on the Ducati sometimes over the Yamaha or what have you. But I don't know. Like, if I just walked in and sat down in a meeting with you and you just saw that on my wrist, you'd go, oh, that's a nice looking watch. It's basic. It's not the chronograph. It's not as flashy. But you just go, oh, that's a nice watch. How much was that? $33. Not several hundred. So as long as it keeps time and the hands don't fall off or, it doesn't have any issues. And they've got some other ones. I'll put a link here. Go look at their watches at the Olevs store on Amazon. They have some bigger watches that, I wanted one that was just a little more clean and subdued. Because if you're going to draw attention to it and it's a knockoff, why make it obvious? As opposed to someone just going, looks like a decent watch. As opposed to someone going, wow, what the hell? Let me see that. And then they go, wait a minute, dude, this ain't the real deal. It's like, why invite that? So I went with one that was just a little bit more subdued. But it's a really pretty watch. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm liking that a lot. I'm going to like these too. These ones got a little more heft to it. This thing without the band actually weighs more than this one with. And this one does have a proper screw-on back. And they say it's rated to 200 meters. I don't know. Again, I'm not going to wear metal watches and those types of things in the saltwater pool and, things like that. If I'm going rugged or anything like that, or I'm riding a motorcycle where it might take a spill or something, or if I'm diving in the pool, I'm gonna have the G-Shock. This thing is just a beast. This is my go-to timekeeping device, and solar powered, and it's just always topped off, and it's just a fantastic freaking watch. But I'm probably gonna have a little bit of a watch collection. I do this with every goddamn thing. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get into these. I'm gonna get into instead of knives. I'm gonna get into maybe I'll carry a Swiss Army knife, and all of a sudden I got 15 of them. Then I'm like, well, maybe a smart multi-tool makes sense, and all of a sudden I've got $1,000 worth of multi-tools. I tend to just do things like that. I kind of get into something, and I think it'd be cool to have a couple nice watches, have a couple beater watches. Where if I'm out and I'm wearing this thing, once I get the bracelet sized and reinstalled, if I were to break it or something, drop it gets all dinged up, I'm like, it's $55. If I had an actual Submariner, or I went and bought a Tudor, or some kind of watch where I'm spending thousands of dollars, I'm gonna be hesitant to wear it. It's the same thing with, I love my Jack Wolf knife, my gunfighter, but it's a $350 exquisitely built knife. I don't carry it much because I'm like, I'm going to feel bad if I drop it on the concrete and bang up the titanium and shut up. And that kind of stuff, you know? That's just how I am. I don't want to necessarily break something like that. So I want to take care of it. And that's where I like having something that's nice enough. It doesn't look like you're wearing a cheap piece of crap. And because it's not a counterfeit, it's legal. Now, I will say they're getting a little close with the damn logo. I'm not going to deny that. But like the Invictas are pretty nice. This one is anyway. This one actually gets really good reviews. Some of the Invictus people say are crap. A lot of them are watch snobs. You know, if you don't spend at least, to them, a cheap watch is $900. I was watching some other guy saying, oh, spending your money on this is just terrible. You shouldn't do that. And it's like, dude, it's $55. Some people just need to know the time. And if it lasts them 2, 3, 5 years and they spend $55 or $33 and they get a few compliments along the way and it works for several years, who cares? Not everyone wants to go spend Not everybody looks at watches as an investment. I don't look at anything as an investment other than like 401k and stocks and things like that. Maybe my house slightly. But the problem is if I bought my house at 262 and right now it's 600, yeah, that's a great investment. Well, guess what? It doesn't mean anything to me. It's on paper unless I sell my house. And then I got no place to live. And guess what? Every other house went up in value too. So all that money's doing is getting rolled into another expensive house. It's not really, unless you cash in the money and downsize and move out in the country and build a cabin, it's not really an investment. I don't see watches as investments. That doesn't mean some people don't make money off of trading and selling watches. But I look at it, it's a tool. It's a means to an end. I got some cheap ones. It's probably not even mid-range. I don't think $200 in today's world is all that expensive for a watch. But it's a quality watch. This is a good watch. It takes a beating and it'll just last forever. But I'm going to go get a Tissot, I think. I'm going to go get something nicer. But in the meantime, $33, I don't have any reliability yet. I'm going to have to wear it for a while. I'm going to have to observe it over time, see if it actually, keeps correct time. But just based on the initial fit and finish, I mean, yeah, it's a simple box, simple owner's manual that'll tell me how to. Hopefully it's not English. Hopefully they do. Someone did a proper English conversion because sometimes you read the instructions like the old Japanese VCR manuals and you're like, even though it's in English, I still need a translator. So I need to get that stupid clock to stop flashing, whatever. And then you would give up because it's too hard. So you just leave it. But it's really nice. It'll be a bit of a finger oil magnet because it is such a high level of polish. You'd be wiping it down with a little microfiber. But I don't know, folks, for $33, as long as it keeps time and it runs right, I mean, is there anything not to like about it other than maybe the social stigma of, hey, they're borrowing a design heavily from Rolex, which doesn't patent it, so it's not illegal. I don't know. Tell me what you think. That's my initial unboxing. It looks like a nice watch, especially for the money. As long as it runs right, that's good value. Was it for you? I don't know. Only you can answer that, but I'm going to wear it and see how it lasts, see if it keeps time. We'll talk to you soon. I'll do reviews of these when I get my bands installed. We'll be back on that. Not in this video, but another one later.